Welcome to the distinguished annual event, the Queen Rania Teacher Academy Annual Forum 2024 under the theme Collaborative Pathways, Elevating Education Through Partnerships. We extend our sincere gratitude to you all for attending and warmly welcome you to this year's forum. Established in 2009, Queen Rania Teacher Academy is a non-profit organization that embraces the vision of Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah to enhance the quality of education by empowering teachers and educators with essential skills. QRTA offers innovative, high-quality professional development programs across Jordan and the Arab world. QRTA actively supports the educational community, reflecting its commitment to advancing education and enhancing educators' skills through a variety of specialized initiatives. These initiatives provide opportunities for continuous learning and advanced training for teachers and school leaders. As part of these efforts, QRTA hosts an annual forum that gathers distinguished educators and experts from around the world to share experiences, foster innovation, and to promote collaboration education. This year's forum stands out with an impressive lineup of workshops and panel discussions designed to inspire partnerships and empower educators. Our sessions focus on equipping participants with practical tools and strategies to enhance learning environments, foster collaboration, and address the evolving challenges in education. Before we begin, we would like to remind you that a certificate of attendance will be available. We also invite you to participate in the feedback survey, which will be shared with you before the workshop ends. Your insights will help us enhance future events. Thank you for your participation and valuable presence. Please allow me to introduce Dr. Nada Rabia, who's an experienced professional with over 12 years in academia and corporate sectors. Holding a PhD in business management, she specializes in innovation, SEMS, and career development, and has published in Scopus Index journals. Currently an entrepreneurship and business growth coordinator in Canada, she supports small businesses and newcomers. She's a certified curriculum developer and higher education faculty member, and also volunteers with organizations such as YMCA, SJLIP, World Skills, The Forum, BrainSTEM, and other organizations. She's pursuing further certification in data analysis and educational gamification, and enjoys reading, learning languages, and traveling. Thank you so much, Dr. Nada, and please start your session.
Thank you. Thank you a lot. So I would say good morning, everyone, for me, because it's still morning in my time, and good afternoon, good evening for whoever's in a different time zone. So thank you a lot, Shadi, for the introduction, and it's my pleasure to be here today and to be able to deliver that session. And I would start with so mainly what's the session title is the role of community organizations in supporting and enhancing entrepreneurial education. And I would go with some, as a case study, with some examples of already implemented examples or implemented cases that I was part of, whether fully I'm managing the whole project or was working with a team in delivering that type of support as an entrepreneurial education. So before we start, let me just walk you through the agenda for today's workshop. So the first thing I would just like to give you a brief about my previous experience and how I came with how I ended up with the entrepreneurial education, and why we should focus, and what's entrepreneurial education, and why we should focus on entrepreneurial education as educators and teachers. And then I would go with some practical case studies, examples. We would go through some takeaways of what can we get out of this and how can we implement this. Like the most important thing in any workshop, in any course, in any training that we attend is to get a takeaway, something that I can take and I can just implement in my own program, and it would work and succeed. And then what's the next? What can we do next? And finally, the takeaways, the general and the final takeaways from the workshop. And we would open the floor for Q&A. This doesn't mean that we don't have, if you have any question in the middle, feel free to stop me and also to ask me the question. So mainly a brief about myself. And my slide is stuck. Yes, it's working now. So I'm Nader Rabia, Dr. Nader Rabia. I'm based now in Canada, originally Egyptian, born and raised in Dubai. So I lived majority of my life in Dubai. All my previous work experience are in United Arab Emirates, between Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and Sharjah and other Emirates. And currently, since 2 years, I moved to Canada. I'm based in one of the provinces in Canada called New Brunswick, and I'm based in a city called Saint John. Okay, so I have a PhD, as Shadi mentioned, in business management, and I'm an active researcher. My research focus is normally on entrepreneurship, SMEs or small medium enterprises, businesses, innovation for small businesses. How can we implement or integrate between the entrepreneurial education component and the education and the curriculums that we have? That's why I came with I was involved in different curriculum development training and certifications, because I care about having a curriculum or designing a curriculum that would bridge the gap in the job market. How can we develop and cop up our curriculums with our curricula with the updated market and job market trends, the AI now, what's happening, the technological advancement? How can we make sure that what we are teaching is not something that's outdated or no one would benefit from it? I really care about the academic and the practical experience. That's why I have a lot of volunteering roles, and also I do a lot of support to different organizations. I work in on different capacities as a coordinator for entrepreneurship, business growth, project management, mentoring, coaching. I'm a business mentor and coach for different organizations. I also participate in different business analysis tasks. If you're hearing any noise around me, this is my cats. So I can control them. That's why. Now I'm part of an organization called Envision St. John, and that organization is the front door for entrepreneurs and community development in the city where I'm located in. It's a government organization, and my part now at that organization is the entrepreneurship and business growth coordinator. So I help entrepreneurs to start up and scale up their businesses, and also I support in terms of business coaching and business mentoring. Prior to that, I was part of an organization called the YMCA. The YMCA is a nonprofit organization, which the main role of it is to support newcomers or new residents in Canada, and I was part of the employment team as a employment trainer, job coach, and then a program coordinator. In addition to this, I'm extremely involved in the community where I'm in. I'm a volunteer in different organizations. UNB, this is a University of New Brunswick, and this is a very prestigious and very historical university that exists here. I'm part of the same as JLP, LIP, which is the St. John Local Immigration Partnership. This is an organization for supporting newcomers here in St. John. I'm part also of Periscope Accelerator, and this is a business accelerator that exist here, where we support small businesses to scale up. And also I'm part of the World Skills Employment Center in Ottawa in Canada, and this is an organization that supports also skill development for different residents here, newcomers and Canadians. And if I have time, I would enjoy reading, learning new languages, and traveling. I'm proud that I traveled to some countries in Europe, and I'm sitting on my bucket list that one day I would visit other countries in the process. Okay, so these are the organizations that I collaborate with. Harvard Business Review, I'm part of the advisory committee of Harvard Business Review as the publications of Harvard Business Review. The YMCA, this is the organization I was speaking about, World Skills Employment Center in Ottawa. UNB, University of New Brunswick, which would be a lot of our case studies and focus today would be about UNB, honestly. And then we have a Flight. This is a youth camp that I would also speak about. St. John Leap Seed, this is a mentorship camp. Egypt Scholars, and this is something away from my entrepreneurial support. This is something that where I'm an academic mentor for masters and PhD students in different parts of Egypt. I have to also be committed with my original community, so I'm committed with the Egypt Scholars Organization, and also I'm part of a mentorship women business mentorship program supported by Scotia Bank here in Canada. And I would speak about some of these things as part of our session. So we have a question, is that how did you overcome distraction and time management? Thank you for very much, Mukhtar, for your question. So I would say distraction and time management. I'm a person that normally would not settle for doing one thing in my life. I prefer to be a multitasker. So that's why I'm always having a plan for whatever I want to do. This may sound very organizational, but I do a performance analysis for my performers every few months. I check, okay, what did I do in the past few months, what I want to do in the future, how can I engage myself more, restructure my priorities. Definitely I would came across other opportunities that I'm really interested to be part of it, but I don't have the time and the capacity to do this. So I would say the secret to this is to have a plan ahead for what you want to do and what priorities that you have. And it's totally fine that that document would be like a living document where you would revisit it again, come across different what I need to do, my priority change it, so what I can do in the future, what organization that can exist. And after some time, when you are already engaged in the community, you don't have to go to ask people to involve me with you. They would already know that you have that capacity and experience, and they would reach out to you. So I would say the secret is to overcome distraction the secret to overcome distraction is to focus on your plan, revisit it from once in a while, and to have your I wouldn't say I'm perfect in time management. I would say I'm trying. So I can give a lot of advices when it comes to time management. I'm trying to do a lot of things in my time. And thank you a lot, Mukhtar, for your message, for your question.
Dr. Nada, I asked the
Yes.
audience to introduce themselves in the chat, and if they could tell us from where they are joining this webinar. Thank you.
That would be great. That would be great.
Yeah, thank you. You may start.
Yeah. Okay, so what to expect from this workshop? So we would learn about EE or entrepreneurial education and how can we adopt the EE model in our organizations. Definitely, I would really appreciate if you can tell us where you are joining us and if there's any insight about the organization that you are joining us from, because that would give us an insight, that would give me an insight, is that okay, how can we tweak the case studies even, or the examples that we have here to your organization. And that's one of the things, one of the outcome that I really want to have today at the end of the session. So entrepreneurial education, what and why? So the first thing is entrepreneurial education. There's a lot of definitions to entrepreneurial education, but the main aim, so entrepreneurial education is when you equip your educational program with skills, equip your students or the participants of your educational program with skills that would make them successful entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurship is not something for everyone. However, it's not something negative to learn about entrepreneurship, because when you have the skills of an entrepreneur, you could be an entrepreneur or a business owner, and at the same time you could implement these skills in your current job or the job that you are doing and that you will be doing in the future. So having entrepreneurial education and having entrepreneurship skills, entrepreneurial skills, it's something that's, I believe it's something that's much needed in the community, in the current communities where we're in with all the technological advancement. So the goal of entrepreneurial education is to enable the student to think like entrepreneurs. So when they think like entrepreneurs, they would be able to apply any knowledge that they would get. They will be able to deal with real world problems. They would be able to think in a creative and innovative way. It's not about learning how to start your business or to launch a company. It's learning how to deal with life. This is the entrepreneurial education, or the skills, the benefit, or the golden benefit of that skills. So entrepreneurial education involves comprehending the processes involved in turning an idea into reality. And that's something that in all our day-to-day job duties we came across. We all have tons of ideas. We all have a lot of things, like let's just take the QRTA or the Queen Rania Teaching Academy as an example. If the managing or the admin team, they were thinking, okay, what we need to do, and they would come with brilliant ideas. But the only differentiator between a successful organization and unsuccessful organization is, can I implement this, and how can I make the idea and my dream into reality? Okay, so with all the things that the QRTA team did, is that with all the preparation, with all the efforts, and I highly recommend all the efforts, and I highly appreciate all the efforts that you did. I was just involved in the last part of it, and I can tell it's not an easy job to bring all of these people at the same place. So entrepreneurial education, it would help you to have to turn your idea into reality, will help you to have to form your team, to acquire your fund, to do market analysis, strategy formation, and execution. Any project in the world, you can apply the entrepreneurial education steps or the entrepreneurial process steps on it, and it would succeed. Okay. So why we need entrepreneurial education? First, it would enable your students to think like an entrepreneur. And if they are thinking like an entrepreneur, they will be problem solvers. They will be a real life, they will engage they will deal with the real life situations in a very innovative and creative way. It will help your students to learn practical skills, not theoretical skills. Theory is great, but how can I implement, move or transform the theory into practice? This is the thing, this is the differentiator. It would help to, as you may know now, in the current world that we are living in, we all need to contribute to the economy, and it's no secret that small businesses in the community now, in any community, not Arab, not Canadian, not American, any community, their contribution is not less than 95% to the economy. So having or using education to have entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs in the community, it's something it's an added value to any economy. And also students would learn about leadership skills. So if our students, they learn about leadership skills, they can lead any project. And leadership is not for senior positions. This is something that we all say, okay, we all start our career with doing a job, and then we start to gradually advance in our career, and then we reach to a leadership, and then a leadership position. And then we're like, okay, how can I do leadership? It's something that we should learn from the beginning of our career, because you could be a leader in different capacity. You don't need a title to be a leader. You can be a leader in different capacities. So if we manage to teach our students leadership skills, they would excel in their career. And also entrepreneurial education would help students to have a sense of social responsibility. And a good example for this is one of the case studies, or one of the models that we would go through, which is called Flight. And I would go through this. It's a social responsibility. They would learn how they can react toward the community challenges. They would learn how they can make they can contribute to the community. It's not about the benefit I'm getting as an individual. It's about what benefit I'm getting as an individual, and how can this reflect on my community. We have a lot of examples of people who live in countries, and because they were very, very innovative and very creative in how they are managing their own challenges, this positively impacted the whole community they are in. And I can tell you a lot of examples about this. A lot of countries now are well known because of their population, right? Because of the achievement of their individuals. So this is part of the social responsibility that we practice. And finally, entrepreneurial education is necessary for the future of the economy, because with the current changes that's happening in the world, technological advancement, if I'm stuck where I am, if I'm not trying to evolve with the changes that's happening around me, I will not have a space in the future. I will not have a spot in the future. And that's why when we came across this recently a lot, is that a lot of people would say, okay, AI would change the future of the jobs. What can we do? AI would do our jobs. Yes, it would do your job, but there is an advantage out of it, which is AI can do the basic things. That it's a very repetitive task that doesn't require a lot of thinking, but you can use it for your creative side. You can use it for making things that it will not be accurate. And that's why we started to see a lot of changes in the job market, because people started to learn. If today you're not learning about AI and learning how to use AI, you will not succeed. I have to assure this, and I'm sorry I'm saying this, but this is an important component of our future skill set that we need to have in the future. Okay, so let's dive into the practical part, or the case studies. The first thing we have is UMB. And as you may tell from this slide, is that from these slides, is that I'm a very visual person. So I prefer to use pictures and images more than text. And if you have any questions, just stop me. University or UNB, or University of New Brunswick. What happened with this university? What happened with this university is that this is a university that was established in 1785. Very, very, very many years. Very historical university. They have different programs. They have programs on the undergrad on different capacities, different majors, and at the same time, they have MBA programs, and they have PhD programs, similar to any university. What happened with this university is that as part of what I'm doing at my job now, we came across a problem, which is students at the UNB, or the undergrad students and the MBA students, they struggle to connect the theory with practice, and this is something that's in every university. So we came across with a competition, which is we would give them a challenge, we would give them a community, a real, it's not a fake challenges, we are not making it up, we will give them a real challenge. Okay, this is the challenge that you have. We are having a problem, let's say, with the population growth. We know we need more people here in the community, and we can get the amount or the right number of people that we want. We give them the problem, we give them all the documents that supports the problem, and we told them, okay, come with an action. What can we do about this? And we did it with a criteria, is that this is the evaluation criteria. We got a committee to evaluate them, and we gave them a very, 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 I would say, limited time frame. It's like we gave them 2 days to read more than 70 pages of the problem statement and to come up with a very innovative solution. And we got a lot of ideas. So some of these ideas was that, okay, we would do a program for, some of the ideas were very innovative, and other ideas was just something that we are already doing. But at the end, one of the main killers of any of innovation is to stop people and tell them, we did this before. No, we did it before. Now, so what we did is that we asked them, okay, this is what you have, this is the challenge that you have, come up with a solution. Some of the solutions that we got is that we would do an attraction program, we would do a recruitment program for population outside. We would see what challenges or what missing skills that we have in the community, and we would go recruit abroad with that. Other ideas was that, okay, if we need more population, we need to encourage people to come here. So what we would do to encourage people to come here, we would tell them, okay, come join us, and we would give you a training. We would upskill your skills. We would scale up your skill set. So all of this was one of the, so we got a lot of solutions, I would say. So what's the main or learning takeaway from this? So the learning takeaway from this is that it's not even, don't underestimate the power of your students. Don't try to give them something that they know that it's not real. Give them a real challenge that you have. Give them a clear criteria, but allow them also to have allow them to also to have what we call is that to have some ambiguity or unclear things, because with the unclarity they would come up with innovative ideas. No one, as they always say, and I trust that the majority of us here are Arabs, is that الحاجة أم الاختراع, or like the need is the mother of invention. And this is very true. So give them some ambiguity, give them some unclear instructions so they can think out of the box. Don't try to tell them, I need your solution to fit that box. We always say think out of the box because we don't want rules and regulations to stop us. Okay, the second example we have is the entrepreneurship round table. So the entrepreneurship round table, this is a thing that we did with the undergrad students at the UNB also. And it was part of the, it was a partnership between Envision St. John, the organization I work in, the UNBSJ Business Administration Society, and also part of it, or the hosts were from the UNB, from the Business Administration Society. The Business Administration Society, this is an undergrad, like it's a student club, if you can say, and where students are the one who came up with all the with all the student activities and all of this, similar to the typical student clubs that we have in all our universities and schools. So what we did is that we did an entrepreneurship roundtable where we invited experts, and these are the three experts that we invited sitting on the three seated persons, and we invited them to speak about their journey, their entrepreneurial journey, because entrepreneurship, it's a collaborative action. You can you can be an entrepreneur on your own. You need your community to support you. So we brought these three experts to the room, and we asked the two gentlemen standing at the back. They are two students to do a question and to do a roundtable with them. If you may notice that the panelists are very diverse. So the one on the side in the suit, he's a newcomer. He's from the Black community, and he is one of the successful entrepreneurs that we have in the community because he came during the pandemic. He did a business that's totally not fitting the pandemic, and it succeeded. And at the same time, he's a PhD student in the university here, and he's a very well involved person in the community. So that's a successful entrepreneur that people would need to hear and to listen from about his experience. The second one, and the lady in the middle, she is an expert in her space. She's involved in the financial sector. Her business. She has years of experience. Sorry.
I think you are muted, maybe, Dr. Nada. I can't hear you. Dr. Nada, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Still, I can't hear you actually. Now you are muted, I think, Dr. Nada. I think you are muted, Dr. Nada. Mhm. Maybe you can unplug your headset and then come back again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Right.
That was so weird.
Yeah. I had like, maybe it was like less than half a minute. So that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So the lady, I was speaking about the panelists and how their experience contributed to the round table. So the person at the on the side was the gray sweater. Um, he is a business owner in something that's between, like, it's a mixture between science and doing business. He's doing businesses in the agriculture industry, and it's one of he came with one of his innovations from the lab that he decided to offer this to the market. So having people from with different perspectives added really a huge value to the roundtable. And one of the takeaways that I would say from this is Sorry, my screen is stuck. Yeah, sorry. One of the takeaways that I would say from this is that always, always, always in your student activities, bring experts to the room, bring them to let your students know that they are people were at the same stage where they are in now and they succeeded. So it's always important to show your student that there is a way to visualize your success. When you see another person is a successful business, you would come up with, okay, it's not hard, I can do this. If someone did it, I can do it. And also some of these entrepreneurs, they are mentors, they are business mentors, so they mentor new students. Or also this is part of the UMB. In the UMB they have a mentorship program. I'm a business mentor, I'm a mentor for undergrad and MBA students at the UMB. So one of the things that I would do is that I would get students, I would have a session with them and ask them, okay, what's the business that if you have all the resources, you would do it now? And when we start to brainstorming ideas, and based on these ideas, we would start to come up, okay, maybe this is a very viable business, we can work on it. I would start work with them a step by step on their business. We would work on the business plan, we would work on their financials, we would work on their future career plan. One of the things that, as I said, entrepreneurial education is not just for business owners, it's for any job. So working even with them was in that capacity to ask them, okay, maybe you don't want to own your business, but if you have all the resources and you're working the sales, let's say as a student, that student wants to graduate and work in the sales industry. Okay, what project can we come up with a new idea that we can come up with that would increase your sales target in the company that you are working on? So entrepreneurial education is not just restricted to jobs, businesses. It's for any job. You could be as innovative and as and this is what we call entrepreneurship. So there is the entrepreneurship, which is ENTRA, and this is the intrapreneurship, INTRA, and this is the entrepreneurship. It's the thing that we that's practicing entrepreneurship, or doing business practices in your job. So this is one of the learning takeaways that we can have from this, is that whatever challenge you have, bring an expert to the room and ask the students to speak with that expert. And definitely you would facilitate the discussion, you would direct the discussion and supervise it in a way that would make it very beneficial. The third example we have here, again, UNB is one of my main inspiration when it comes to entrepreneurship education, because I do a lot of work with them, and this is one of the buildings that they have for the MBA students. We did recently a panel discussion, and this is not related to entrepreneurship, it was related to the Canadian job market. So how can we integrate project management, human resources, and business development into the Canadian job market? That entrepreneurship, that panel discussion, I was just one of the panelists in it, and one of the main goals of it is that we wanted to speak with the MBA students, the students who are doing their masters, and they are in the process of finalizing their project, capstone project, and BCB, or the business project, and they need to be ready for the job market. So another example for entrepreneurship education is to equip your graduates, your students, whatever they are, seniors, juniors, whatever, with tell them what they would expect in the future in the job market. What's the thing that they would see when they graduate? What's the thing that if they are uh they, like if they graduated tomorrow, what's the thing that they would find in the job market and how they can make this in their favor? The panelists, just to show you that the diversity of the panelists, the lady on, I will start with Kathleen, the lady on the side, on the left side. Kathleen, she's an HR professional. So she was speaking with the students about how they can be prepared for the future HR challenges, the hiring procedures, everything related to this, to the hiring and the recruitment, and what are the current trends in the hiring and recruitment. Following this is we have Sana Iman. Sana, she's one of the MBA students. So we wanted to have in the panel, among the panelists, a person who's coming from that point of view, from that perspective. MBA students, still part of that cohort, what she's doing to make sure that she's ready for the future. And then we have the moderator, which was Nicole Bacat, the lady in the middle. And Nicole is coming also from diverse backgrounds. And then we have Chunwai, and he's a project manager. He started his own business. He's an entrepreneur and project manager at the same time. And myself, will not speak about myself, but I would say uh, the outcome or the takeaway from that panel discussion, and that panel was attended by not less than 100 individuals. And the benefit of, or the takeaway of that panel discussion was that integrating different aspects at the same point, at the same event. So one of the things that I would recommend in your future events, whether it's a school, whether it's a college, whether whatever the level of teaching and the level of students is to listen to their needs. So that panel discussion was designed based on the need that we heard from the students, is that they are lost, they don't know what they are going to do after they graduate, they don't know their what's the future would be like, what would look like for them. So listen to them and then reflect. One of the things that we really miss, in and I'm just speaking from my experience, maybe you're not missing this, is that when you are in the classroom, we always feel that, and that was my wrong perception, is when I was in the classroom teaching at the university level. I have been an assistant professor since 2015. So since 2015, whenever I entered the classroom, and that was my very, very, very wrong perception at the beginning, is that I should be the expert. I should be the person who knows what's happening. And I should be a problem solver for all the students' problems. And this is a very, very, very wrong perception. I learned this at the beginning of my teaching career, is that no, I can learn from them. They, they can teach me things that I don't know. So being in the classroom as a teacher or as an educator doesn't give me a higher authority over them. It just gives us that we are coming from different perspectives. We're coming from different worlds. So we can, if we collaborated together, we would do a great job. A good example for this is that, and it's not here, but one of the things that I was doing is I was an assistant professor at an American university in the Emirates, located in Dubai, and I was teaching entrepreneurship and business development course. And the main outcome of that program was to come up with an innovative business idea. And one of the things I learned from the students is that they would come sometimes and tell me an idea, and I would say, this is a crazy idea. No, we're not doing this. And this is something that we will not be a visible, or sorry, a feasible idea. And then literally few months later, I would find that there is someone invented that idea. So I learned that no crazy idea exists when it comes to business, and you don't have authority over students. You just have to ask the right questions. And this is another thing that I highly recommend in your classrooms, is to don't give your students answers, just ask them the right question. So If someone is coming with an idea to you, with a business idea to you, just ask them, okay, how do you see this would happen in the upcoming 4 to 6 months? What do you think we can do to make this happen? So ask them the question and let them answer it. Don't try to give them the answer. Don't spoon feed them the answer and tell them that this is this is how we do it. This is what. No, just give them the time to think about it, to think how they would make this happen. Okay. So my interaction with these MBA students, it taught me a lot. It taught me, I learned a lot from them. Having just a small chat with them, a very 10 minutes chat with any of the MBA students, it taught me a lot, because this helped me to see their struggles from their own point of view and to think, okay, how can I make it easier for them? And not making it easier for them to spoon feed them, making easier for them to solve this so they can deal with the other problem that they are having. And okay, so another thing that we have here, and this is the business pitch competition, another pitch competition that we did earlier this month, where we came with another also challenge related to our skilling up our talent market here in New Brunswick. So what we did is that we asked our students to help us with this. And I have to be honest, when we ask students to do this, they feel that they are part of the process. So they would feel they are appreciated. They would feel that when I'm part of this process, if I came with an innovative idea, it will happen. It will be a reality. I'm not here as a student. I'm here as a contributor to the community. So this is what we did. We asked our students to think about how can we skill up the talent pool that we have here. And we got some ideas about cybersecurity, got ideas about AI development, machine learning, we got ideas about how can we revamp the job market in a way that, so typically how the hiring process happens all over the world. There's a job fair. Employers are participating in that job fair. As a job seeker, you would go to the job fair and you would apply, chat with the employers and the HR department and ask them about what opportunities do they have. Like, this is the typical hiring process, that how it happens in job fairs. One of the new things that we try to do here, especially with small businesses, is that we try to flip the scenario. So we did a small SMEs, or small business, small medium enterprises job fair, where employers are the one who are going to speak with the employees and the job applicants, and not the other way around. So employees are sitting in the room. Employers are the one who's coming to the room and trying to convince them to work for them. And this flips the whole scenario, because as an employer, it would give you a chance to reflect on your own experience. It would give you a chance to try to convince others to work for you, and not to tell them, you are the one who need me. I don't need you. Okay, I'll just have a look at the chat, because do we have any questions? Okay.
Maybe no chat. You can proceed, Dr. Nada.
Okay, that's great. I guess there's a question from Senna. Okay, let me just read the question.
Is it on private chat?
Yes.
Okay. Could you please, once you have any question, could you please just address everyone instead of just addressing Dr. Nada so that I can help her in sorting out the questions. Thank you.
So Sana was asking, she's an entrepreneur from Tunisia. Welcome, welcome. And yeah, that's great. So it's not a question, I would say. It's more into a collaboration. My pleasure, Sana. I'm more than happy to collaborate with you in this, and I would at the end leave my email also, and I will have access. I will have make sure that I record your email address, and I will email you to collaborate. So thank you a lot, Sana. And if you have any questions, just feel free to drop it in the chat. Yeah, so I was speaking about the UNB pitch competition, where we asked students to come to not pitch their own business idea, is to pitch a solution to us. And that was a very, very, very intense also in terms of the time frame, because we gave them 2 days to reflect on the problem and to come up with a solution. And how normally that type of events happen is that the winning team, we would have 3 winning teams, and the number one winning team would have collaboration with the relevant organization. Let's say, for example, and this is one of the things that we did in the past, is that the port here, they asked students to come up with ideas for digitizing their own services, the port services, in terms of the import and the export and the cargo businesses and all of this. And they gave them a very specific challenge that they are facing currently, and asked them to help them to solve it. So one of the things that the team came up with was like number one team, they came up with a very innovative idea that would help to improve the port services, and also at the same time that would help to attract more cruise ship industries and tourism and visitors to the city. So the winning team did a partnership and entered into a collaboration for 1 year with the port and the government to implement that business in reality. So it's not, I'm taking your idea, I will give you a check, and they will tell you, okay, thank you, bye bye, see you next time. No, you are my partner. Your idea, you will see it happen in reality. So this is a very good example that we can implement on our schools and our universities today, is that to work in partnership with our students to make their ideas happen in reality. Because all our students, they have a lot of energy. They always say that the teenager age and the youth age in the 20s, this is the time when we have a lot of energy, and we don't have a lot of resources, right? So as a government, as a school, as a university, you have the resources and you need the energy of your students. So if we pair these two together, we would come up with a very, very innovative ideas and creative ideas. Okay. So the other example we have here is the Promise Partnership. So this is for a different age group. The Promise Partnership is a program that exists as part of the UNB and University of New Brunswick in St. John. Okay, so this is a program where we bring grade 10 and grade 11 and grade 12 students, and we would try to equip them with entrepreneurship thinking practices. So what we did with them, and we just had 1 hour to be with them. So we delivered a session where we had all of these students. That's just one picture from the session, and or one cohort of that type of collaboration. And we asked them to using the very, very basic, very basic tools in front of them. And we selected these things randomly, literally randomly. I just got by rubber bands, sticks, colors, markers, Play-Doh, and all of the basic playing things that you can play with, and asked them to come up with a product, to develop a business model for that project and to sell that project. So this is not an easy thing because they need to think about a project that could be sold. And we asked them that convince me to buy that product from you. And even we took them and asked them to sell this to others. And this was part of that was delivered at the UNB building, or the University of New Brunswick building. So we asked them to go outside to sell this to other students that they don't know them, and they don't know that they just came up with something, and they will present their business, they will tell them how they are pricing their product and what's the benefit of it. So for example, um, uh, the gentleman, I would say the gentleman because he's just 11, the gentleman in the red t-shirt, he came up with his business partner, with a band that you can use for exercise everywhere, and it will be equivalent. We have all the rubber band that exists for exercise, rubber band, but the exercise band. But he came up with something that it's just a prototype for exercise band that you can use, and it will be equivalent to the gym equipment in terms of its effect. Okay. And he tried to sell this and to convince others to buy it from him. The lady in the purple t-shirt, she came up with a self-defense tool. She designed a self-defense tool where she can defend herself from bulliers. I would say that just 1 hour session with the students helped us even to sense their problems, their struggles. So for example, when I was chatting with the lady in the purple t-shirt, the idea that she came up with something that would help her with dealing with bulliers in school, it gave me an insight that she's getting bullied at her school, right? So you can sense a lot of problems from your students just by asking them to think and to come up with something, because the first thing that came to her mind, all of them, they got the same tools. The first thing that came to her mind is to have something to defend herself. So this shows that there is a problem happening here, right? This shows that there's something that she's struggling with something. uh the one in the red t-shirt, uh it gave us, I think, an idea about his uh, favorite things, his favorite activities. Because I decided to think about exercising and how can we make my exercise very effective with a very efficient and very low cost way. So another activity, so this is an idea that you can have in your classroom, is that you don't need to do a lot of, you don't need a high budget for this, you don't need a large budget for doing this. You just need to give them basic need things and tools, and ask them to think and to come up with something. It's not about doing a business. Definitely all the products were not in the stage to be sold, but I would say giving them the opportunity to think helped them also to so you can sense their problem and help it also them to think about what I could do in the future. Do I have the potential to be a business owner or not? uh Statistically wise, more than 80% of the businesses, they shut down in the first year. More than 80% of the businesses shut down in the first year. And that's because we all have the belief that doing business is just something like this. No, it's not. So that's why exercise like this would tell your students to think, do I qualify to be a business owner, or something that's not for me? And it's really good to explore this in advance. Um, so these are other pictures. We gave them some instructions. We gave them, as you may see the paper on front of them, it's a very simple business model where they would just sketch some of their ideas in it, and we would take it and think, okay, how can we implement this in their future classes? Another thing is in another UNB, but in another branch in another city called Fredericton. So in this city, I was asked to come up with the first year students. This is one of the things that we did with them, is that we asked the first year students to think about a business with a product, with the pricing model, with the financial projection, with everything. Like do we have a question?
بعتذر عن المقاطعة، لكن متبقي على الجلسة 25 دقيقة.
Okay, thank you a lot. Yeah. So we asked it that these students that they are in the first year is to come up with a full business model where their business, a business that they will do, and they work it in teams. And then every year we would do a session with them and we would check their progress. And this is a project that could be implemented at any school level and any education and any college level, is that starting from year one, ask your students to come up with a business and every year follow up with them. In year 4, we would do a very, like, it's like a professional business pitch. And we will invite investors, we will invite venture capitalists, angel investors, and we would invite experts, and we would let them pitch their business in front of others, in front of the experts. And when they do this, some of them, they would acquire funding. So we helped them to start their business. And the reason why we asked them to do this all over their year, their college years, and also you can do this with the students in their high school level or the secondary level, is having them and following up with them all over the years would help them to reflect on their own journey every once in a while. And it's not something that they will do in a few months and just go. They would keep revamping it, polishing it, restructuring it every once in a while, until by the end of their educational level or college or secondary level, they would end up with a product, a very innovative product. Some of the ideas that came up of this is that one of the sports, very well-known sports here, is the hockey. And normally the equipment of the hockey and the hockey thing, the hockey stick, it's a very large in a way that it may not fit the trunk of a car. And during winter, you can be holding this and walking because it's very cold here. So one of the ideas is that to have it as a stretchable thing in a way that it would not affect the strength of the hockey stick, but at the same time, it would allow them to store it in a small space. Another idea that came up is that, especially for the athletes, that they would use a lot of sports shoes, and every sports, especially athletes that work more than one, do more than sports, they would use a lot of sports shoes, and they should have a specialized or a special shoes for every sport. So one of the students came up with that what normally would like, what's the thing that would let them change the shoes because it got ruined from the down part or the lower part. So what they would do is that they would have a shell. He came up with an idea where he would have a shell that's applicable to any shoe type, and that shell would be used for different sports shoes. So whatever, if you are using the shoe for soccer, you can add the shell and it will be a soccer shoes. If you're using it for basketball, you add the shell, the same shell, and it will be a basketball shoes. Whatever the sport you are playing. So all of these ideas, and now he recorded this as an innovation. So he did the IB of it, the intellectual property documents for it. Others did that. So both students, they did this, both teams, they did this because it's not an individual project. So another example that you can implement, and I'm just trying to to give you some ideas that you can implement in your classroom. So another example that you can implement in your classroom is to is to ask the students, let's say from grade 9, that where they are in the secondary school, to grade 12 while they're in their secondary school, is to every year came up with a business idea at the beginning, and every year revisit the idea. I will try to, so yeah, briefly I will mention this, and then I would go to the activity, because we are running out of time. So the Flight Atlantic, this is an abbreviation for a very, very long name called Future Leaders Innovating to Go Higher in Technology. And this is a camp for high school students, where all over the Atlantic. So it's in 4 provinces here in Canada, and it happened for 2 weeks, where as part of the brainstem. So where the first week of the program, students would be given an opportunity to go through training, a very crash course training, if we can say, about marketing, about business development, about financials, about prototyping, all of the aspects of the business. And then in the second week, they would be asked to work in teams to come up with ideas, very innovative ideas that have a social responsibility. And that social responsibility for this year, 2024, was the environment. So we had grade 10 and grade 11, grade 12 students, secondary school students, coming up with ideas how they can preserve the environment, how they can, for example, one of the ideas was that we would it's in all spaces related to recycling, in all spaces related to coral, how to preserve the coral reef in our ocean, how to change or to minimize the pollution level in our water shores and oceans. And they would have judges. So they would have a showcase day where they would have judges from different aspects. So we had a marketing judge. I was representing here the entrepreneurship and the business development aspect. We have another marketing and communication judge, and we have a chief technology officer who was representing the technological aspect of the business. I have to tell you that we had around 15 teams, and they were very innovative, very, very innovative, and very detailed. So the outcome of this, and this is another recommendation in your schools, is that students who would get to the final stages of that competition, they would get a scholarship in universities. They would get a partial scholarship in the universities. This is something that's very easy to be done. All universities, they have scholarships, but you can link that scholarship with the projects like this, or competitions like this, where I'm getting the scholarship. It's not because I only have high grades. I'm getting the scholarship because I'm contributing to the community and then contributing to the environment. I will just run very quickly. These are other examples. I'm always a guest speaker in different educational program for different age groups. Another example. And this is an example that can be implemented in a school, which is a course that students, they have to finalize to finish as part of the courses, like they got physics, they got chemistry courses or subjects in their school. They also got entrepreneurship and business development, where they attend the classes and they come up with a small business. Just to give you an example about the success of this, the gentleman in the blue t-shirt, he is 17 and he owns his business since he was 15 because of that course. It's a course that they take at the secondary school. Mind my expressions. I'm very expressive person when it comes to facial expression, so that's why. This is another thing that we did recently. I did, sorry, in 2023, which was a conference in Italy, also about how can we implement the STEM education in our curriculums. Many other examples. I will just go directly to the activity. So this is the activity that I would like to end our session with, which is if you can just scan the QR code, and I will share this on my screen also. Let me just share. I will just share this on my screen. So, okay, let me just bring back to the QR code. So this is the QR code.
دكتورة ندى صوتك راح.
Dr. Anada, maybe you need just to log in again or plug in and plug out your mic and headset. We can't hear you, Dr. Nada. Yes, now it's coming again, maybe, Dr.
Yes.
Nada?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yay.
better.
I'm afraid that we don't have access to this Word document.
Oh, let
Yeah.
me check the access.
It's asking for permission.
Oh,
or
I'm
access.
sorry. Okay, sorry.
I think we just have 8 minutes to finish.
Okay, I was planning honestly to have this as a what do you call, as a group, like as a breakout room, but then I was told that I cannot do this. So we'll leave this as a ending of our like thing that you can think about for the future. And I guess now you have all the access. Let me just double check. Anyone with the link? Okay, done. If you can just refresh, you should be able to access this. So this could be like something that think about it in the future, as in the future things that you can do. How can you use all the examples that I mentioned today in your own curriculum? And the second thing I highly recommend that you do is to whatever your idea comes up with. So you decided, for example, that you will do a competition, students competition. Do a SWOT analysis for that idea. So what are the strengths of the idea? What are the weaknesses or the things that, no, this is a weakness. Like maybe we need someone to, like we don't have the resources. Maybe we need more time duration for the program. What weaknesses do you have, and then what opportunities? So the opportunities could be something if we decided to come up with a competition for our students. What opportunities can we have? So maybe that opportunity could be that we would be able to partner with an expert to come to speak with the students. Maybe we can partner with another like if it's a secondary if it's a competition for secondary students, maybe we can come up with a partnership where with a university where they can help us to deliver the program. What threats do we have? What things that would challenge us? Is it resources? Is it that there is a regulation that would stop us from delivering the program? This practice, this SWOT analysis, or the strength, weakness, opportunity, threats analysis would help you to spot the weaknesses and how can you tackle these challenges and weaknesses. Okay, so what's next? Entrepreneurship education is really could change the world, and this is a reality. It's not just a code. A lot of inventions that we are dealing with it today as for taking it for granted came from an entrepreneurship education or approach. And finally, the final takeaways: community organizations. Consider community organization as a valuable educational partner. Always think about how can you collaborate with the community organizations that you have. In our Arab world, we're very fortunate. We have a lot of community organizations that want to support. Think about how you can expand entrepreneurial learning beyond the classroom. Think about addressing local needs through entrepreneurship. Think about the resources and how can we support the diverse student needs. Not all the students prefer to learn in the same way. Think about the sustainable and the long-term partnerships. How can we overcome any barrier to collaboration? Maybe the barrier is the time, maybe the barrier is a resource, maybe the barrier is the regulations. And finally, think about you as an educator. You are the main reason for the success of your students, and they can achieve a lot of good things, and you will have a sustainable impact on their life if you just help them to think, to change the narrative in their mind about their own skills. And inspiring an entrepreneurial mindset in students, it's a valuable thing that you can do to any of your students. This is my LinkedIn account. Feel free to connect with me. I'm more than happy to connect. And I would leave also my email in the chat. And if you have any question, feel free to, whether now or email me your question. More than happy to answer any question. So this is my personal email. I'm always, feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm always glad to support. I hope I committed to the time.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much. Well done, Dr. Nada.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll
Any
just
question?
leave some time for the audience if they'd like to pose any questions for you.
Yes, that would be great. I'm here.
Okay. So could you please drop any question that you'd like to ask Dr. Nada about in the chat box? And also you can unmute yourself and ask directly. Any questions? Any queries?
Thank you. Thank you a lot, Rosha.
Okay, so in conclusion of this special workshop at the Queen Rania Teacher Academy Forum 2024, presented by Dr. Nada Rabia, we would like to express our sincere gratitude to you, Dr. Nada Rabia, and to you all, the audience, for your active and inspiring participation. We hope that this workshop has enriched your ideas and educational skills. We would like to remind you that your certificate of attendance will be sent to you by email within a couple of days, and we encourage you to complete the feedback survey, which will assist us in enhancing future events. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the second day of panel discussions. Thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot, everyone.
Thank you, Doctora. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam. Bye-bye.